Guys, it is literally 2:30 in the morning right now, and I have a flight in approximately 3 hours. That's my proof. As you just saw, I am going to Houston, Texas to visit some family. And because my family lives in Texas, they are red-pilled. They got brainwashed. So they're all Magadonians. And in preparation, I wanted to do some research on Texas state ongoings, just so that I know the lay of the land. I can tell what's going on. Let me preemptively know what talking points are gonna get brought up when inevitably this channel gets brought up in conversation. So just really broadly, I just looked up Texas on incognito mode. I go to news. Texas girl dies by suicide after bullying over family's immigration status. This is insane. This is insane. So not only did we have a school shooting that was inspired by all of the hatred being spewed out by right-wing influencers and the culture that creates, but now we also have hate being taught to children, so much so that they are bullying their peers over immigration status. Children don't know anything about immigration status. Like a 11-year-old, they don't know anything about immigrants, about the immigration fucking laws in this country. They don't know what an illegal immigrant is. This stuff gets taught by parents. I'm not blaming Donald Trump for this. I'm not blaming any Republican official for causing this child to kill herself. I'm blaming the parents that are teaching that to their children, probably because they don't see anything wrong with it. And that's a problem. When you have the Republican Party constantly going on about how we have a declining birth rate, about how the youth has lost its mind, the future of this country is going in the wrong direction. When you have ICE going into schools and you take away a safe space for education for kids to get away from whatever misfortunes they may be facing at home and just hang out with friends and develop a social life and learn, especially when you're in elementary school, to turn that into a place where kids are looking at each other and trying to figure out if they're documented or not. What are we doing as a country? Where are we going? Why is this the direction that we're heading? This is a very easily preventable death. Even just taking out the immigration aspect of it all, just an 11-year-old killing themselves because of bullying is crazy. That's a failure on the education system. That's a failure on a mental health support system. That's a failure on so many different parts. The school didn't even contact the mother. Marbella Carranza, who only learned of her daughter's bullying after her passing, is now working with she didn't know anything that was going on. Her daughter was going to counseling several times a week to talk about the bullying that was going on, and the parents just knew nothing. That's an issue. There was no recommendation being given regarding this child's mental health to their parents to let them know, hey, I see some concerning signs in your child. I'm getting these are mental health professionals. They're supposed to be, and there's no communication going on with the parents, or what? They just think that the bullying wasn't severe enough. Did no one think that it was that big of a deal? What was the motive? What was the reason? I want justice for my child. I want this not to go unhandled. If there are more students out there, more kids out there that are going through it as well, pay attention. The school needs to pay attention. Pay attention to the students to report what's going on. This mom went and shared her daughter's story with all of these public news outlets, knowing very well that it's very likely that she will not be able to stay in this country as a result of it, if the reason why the kids were bullying her has any validity. If this girl actually does have undocumented immigrants, you're putting yourself in a position to give up everything that you have in this country, because the story's that important to share. It's not a story about, Donald Trump says XYZ and it makes a little girl kill herself. It's a story about a systematic neglect of growing hatred in the youth. That's my official title for it. I don't know. I have to laugh or else I'll cry. I have little siblings. I want to have a big family, and I hate that the direction that this country is going in is so divided in such a these are kids. A 10-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old. Kids aren't born racist. Kids aren't born bigoted with hate in their hearts. Kids are taught that, and that's just such a sad direction to be going in if this is what we're teaching our kids. Why Why? Hey, at least they have the KFC headquarters now. KFC headquarters moves to Texas. Austin store sells 83.5 million Lotto Texas ticket. Wow, great. Oh, and there's a measles outbreak. Because we love the children. Texas measles cases are up, and New Mexico now has an outbreak. Here's what you need to know. The measles outbreak in rural West Texas has grown to 58 cases as of Tuesday. So it's Tuesday, February 18th, and this was from the CDC on February 7th, okay? And this says that we have a total of 14 measles cases. So we went from 14 2 weeks ago to now 58. 58! And that's just West Texas. That's not the one in New Mexico. That's 58. And then another 8 in New Mexico. So it's a total of 66 cases of measles. In 2024, there was a total of 285 measles cases, okay? So just some quick math tells us that just a little over a quarter of the entire year of 2024 measles outbreaks, we got a quarter of those cases, a little over a quarter, just in 2 weeks. Great. This is phenomenal. Measles affects children. Measles, again, this is an issue of children that have no agency being victims of parents that are brainwashed, that don't know any better, and that are believing lies and propaganda that's being spewed all over the place. These kids don't have agency to advocate for themselves. Like, if their parent says they're not getting vaccinated, they can't go to the doctor and try and vaccinate themselves. Like, they can't go to the school and try and get the nurse to do it. Like, there's no other choice for them. They're a victim. And then if that child ends up getting measles as a result of their parents not vaccinating them, and then tragically passes away from it, is that not the parents' fault at that point? I don't know. Just something to think about. Potentially, maybe, when this has been a proven safe vaccine for over, I think, 50 years. What was measles? Measles was eradicated in the 60s. The FDA approved in 1971. Okay, I was close. And look, there's even a newer, fresher one, because, I don't know. It's just we're so far disconnected from reality. We're so far disconnected from history as a country. People are so encapsulated in their own little bubbles that they don't realize that we live in a society. I keep on defaulting to we live in a society. It's not, you are not an individual. You are not an individual. You're not an individual in this world, okay? You live in the world. You interact with people around you. The actions that you do, they have consequences. And so when you think, oh, well, it's my kid and I'm gonna do this, and I don't trust the scientists because I haven't seen any evidence, and I think that there's something wrong over there because I choose to believe RFK, and I'm gonna ignore every single person in academia, and I'm gonna choose to distrust every single institution. What are you doing? You can't function in a society like that. You can't. Imagine if everyone in this world just with I snap my fingers and now everyone in this world is just literally only thinking about what is best for themselves and only thinking about their view of the world. No one's considering any outside views. No one's considering any type of contrasting opinions. No one's thinking about anything. Everything's just feeling things and acting based off of their feelings, just based off of the vibes. It doesn't work. It doesn't work when our society devolves into that. It doesn't work when we start completely disregarding all societal norms and teaching our kids to hate other kids because they're brown and because their parents probably don't speak English very well. That's fucking ridiculous. That is a ridiculous pathway for society to go. Coupled, not only are you ignoring societal norms, but now you're just ignoring fucking scientific facts now. You can't do both. You shouldn't do either, but you definitely can't do both. And it's also really cold in Texas too because of climate change. Because climate change is real and we are dying in this earth. The earth is actively dying and everything that we're doing is just making it worse. And is there even anything that, I don't even know. I don't know if there's anything that we can do at this point, but I definitely know that the next 4 years are not going to do anything good. That's all we have. It's just 4 more years.